Everybody keeps, the government, everybody, like the media, you name it. People keep telling us jobs are fine, Canadian economy is okay, GDP is good. We all know individual GDP, like per capita GDP, is completely doomed, but that's okay. And we keep hearing these good job numbers. The last report, they said that, oh yeah, no, the jobs are getting better. Now, there's an important thing to understand about that. Like, there's a report that's sort of asking people if they're working, okay? And then there's a report that looks at the big payroll companies, like Ceridian, ADP, all the big payroll companies. And they ask them, they say, yeah, how's that looking? Are you getting more jobs or less jobs? And interestingly, the payroll companies said, fuck no, we have less jobs. But, the government still thinks there's more jobs. Now, maybe there is more jobs. Maybe the economy's going great in Alberta. Maybe things are good in Quebec. Maybe things are fine in, Manitoba, Saskatchewan. Maybe good in Atlantic. Maybe okay. But here's what I think. I think things are probably not so fucking good in BC. And I think things in Ontario are just piss poor, is what I think. Like, not good at all. I think there's a lot of layoffs going on. I think there's people who got their hours cut back. I think there's shrinking bonus structures. That's what I think. And of course, the most unemployment in Canada of our large cities is focused just in Toronto, which is the highest numbers. So what happens next? Okay, so here's the things we know. If the tariffs show up, if the Trump tariffs show up for any length of time, like, sure, if he turns them on and off like a light switch, but if they're on for months and months and they're meaningful, that's trouble. Like, it's just real trouble. You don't have to take my word for it. Tiff Macklin, the Bank of Canada governor, put on a speech last week and said, yeah, long-term tariffs, like more than 6 months, are devastating for the Canadian economy. They are instant recession creator. They are almost unmanageable for government to handle. Because you know what? Government could say, well, if you get laid off your auto parts job, we're going to put you on some kind of special program. Okay, but what about the companies where they were closed for a long time? Like the Ford plant's been down for a while. The Stellantis plant, the Jeep plant, is supposed to get going, but no. Looks like it's a big no for the next year or more. They were going to produce electric vehicles. It looks like all the EV battery plants are going to go to rat shit. Like that bet on technology. Governments should never bet on technology. It's crazy. But what will be the outcome for real estate if a true recession appears? And again, it's not just Ron doom scrolling and calling everything, yeah, we're finished. This was out of Tiff Macklin, the Bank of Canada's mouth. Devastating economic effects. Now, the tariffs haven't happened yet. Trump changes his mind as often as some people change their shorts, so who knows? But if they do happen, it's bad. And what's the impact on real estate? Because real estate has its own separate set of issues. So first thing is, Bank of Canada rate goes down. The reason that Tiff Macklin put on that speech is to set the stage. To set the stage for, instead of just minor, slow, take a pause, then take a little quarter, 25 basis point cut. He wanted to set the stage for, if the tariffs hit and they stick, he's going to make big cuts to the Bank of Canada rate, all the way down to 1.5, maybe even 1, but definitely down to 1.5. It's 3% today, so that's literally half of what it is today. Now, will he go to zero like COVID? COVID, they went effectively to zero. They went to 0.25%, which is effectively a zero Bank of Canada rate. No, they won't. They learned their lesson from that. That won't happen again. But a 1.5 Bank of Canada rate is like a 2.3 variable rate. Like, that's low. Yeah, real low. So will that happen? Well, I think if tariffs hit hard, you can pretty well bet it's that. But Ron, there'll be inflation. Yeah, but inflation comes later. Economic devastation first, recession first, and then inflation after, where all the counter tariffs and tariff wars create higher prices eventually. Okay. But the other big thing about it is, in that kind of devastated economic environment, house purchases slow. They slow. First of all, people are worried. Like already, the savings rate in Canada has jumped. Oh, well, that's good, right? Okay, is it good? Because it means people are worried and they're saving up their money. People who have the ability to save are saving more. A lot of people can't save. They're just on paycheck to paycheck. But if the people who can save are saving more, they're worried. So in a recession, they don't just save more, which also slows down the economy, but they also don't buy houses and they don't invest in real estate. I mean, no. Like this, like a recession is the absolute total end of investment real estate. And investment real estate is a big chunk of the real estate business in Canada for the last 15 years. So what do we know? Big tariffs that stick, recession, Bank of Canada rate falls, good for variable rate borrowers, bad for everybody who loses their job. And that's a really bad thing. Awful, terrible, destroys your whole feeling of self-worth. It's terrible. And people stop buying houses. I mean, that just doesn't, sure, some people have marriage breakdowns, people have just absolutely have to do a transaction will, but no, it just slows it down tremendously.